I'm sore. I'm tired. I'm very hungry. Overall, I have to give total props to anyone in a wheelchair.
How did your service dog do with the wheelchair without having ever been trained for a wheelchair?
Brody did pretty good. He wasn't as good as he could have been if we were just doing something normally, but considering that I ran over his foot like 5 or 6 or 8 times, I'm proud of my little boy.
Go boy, Brody. Okay, so what was the worst part and what was the best part of this challenge?
The worst part is yesterday I fell down some stairs and hurt my shoulder because I was holding onto the railing. And I kept falling and I kept holding, so my arm was hurting, and it's hurting really bad right now. And the best part, seeing my best friend laugh so hard that she's almost crying because I'm making such a fool of myself.
This was seriously like one of the best days I've had in so long.
Because I am a complete idiot and I have no idea how to assemble a wheelchair or take it apart.
What part of your body was like most uncomfortable while doing it?
During it was my shoulder. Right now it's my shoulder, but I have to say, like, when I went to go stand up to get in the car, my legs felt like limp noodles. It was so bad. I could feel them, but they were just like floppity, floppity, flop.
What did you think about having to open the doors that don't have like the automatic door opener button?
I think my dog's more traumatized now by doors than he'll ever be.
Do you think that being confined to a wheelchair would limit a lot of the things you do in your life? Like, would you be less apt to go out and go grocery shopping as much or things like that? Like, just everyday activities?
Until it became the new normal, until it became something that I could do, blindfolded with my hands tied behind my back, I'd probably say definitely, because the grocery store was hard to navigate in a chair. The grocery store was twice as hard to navigate with a dog and a chair.
That's true.
And
a lot of people who do this challenge don't also have a service dog, so that made it even harder.
Yeah, and just trying to stay out of the way of people and get everything done in a timely manner was interesting.
Were you able to tell, like, whenever you went into a business today, were you able to tell if the ground was level or not?
Not so much, because the businesses were fairly well done, but the sidewalks...
I feel your pain on that one.
The sidewalks here are so bad, and
I put you on the good ones.
Yeah.
The ones that aren't, like, as broken up.
I mean, I did almost, like, flip out of the chair.
But you didn't get
thrown
from the chair at all, which is amazing, considering...
No, I didn't, but I came really close twice.
Even though we agreed not to have you, like, pop a curb or anything, like, do you think you would be able to do it with, like, a little bit of practice and someone who's actually able to help watch you safely from the back?
No.
Like, you don't think that over time you'd get to a point where you could just pop your wheels up and do it?
Like I said, if I had to, I'm sure that I could, but considering I don't have to, right now, just thinking about it seems so impossible. But I'm sure eventually, if I had the guts, I would definitely be able to do that. But I would definitely start with, like, a helmet, some knee pads, and elbow pads, and shin guards, and neck braces. And then I might try it.
Did you notice any difference in terms of the way people treat you? Like, not only just, like, offering to help and stuff, but also just looking at you from afar and stuff. Did you notice a big difference in that?
I did not hear that many people call me cute today, and by that I mean calling Brody cute. And I didn't hear that today. It was just more of, like, the blank stares.
Do you think that people were patronizing to you at all in the chair? Probably not so much because you weren't alone. It doesn't tend to happen when you're with other people as much, but...
Everybody seemed to be fairly nice and fairly receptive. I've never felt so helpless in my life as I did. I have, but in a different way, I guess. It's just, you want to be able to, like, reach up there and grab whatever you had me grab, Pop-Tarts or something. And I was like, okay, this is stupid. And then I, like, knocked them off the shelf, and then they hit my dog in the head, and then they fell on the floor. So they're probably, like, all crumbled and cracked and stuff, and everybody's like, oh, let me help you. And I had to say no. What
was it like eating at a restaurant in a wheelchair and, like, specifically having to navigate through the bathroom?
It was good, but it was different because I felt like the table came up to here on me, even though it really didn't. And so I was constantly like holding my arms like this to eat, which was probably just an over, dramatization. Overall, it was difficult, but I adapted fairly quickly. And the bathroom at the restaurant that we ate at was not fairly handicap accessible. There was no way that I could fit me, my dog, and wheelchair into that bathroom. So I had to leave the chair outside the bathroom and walk in to use the bathroom, and then when I came out, I got back in the chair. But for someone who's specifically chair-bound, they could not have used that bathroom, and I never would have thought about it before, but that really opened my eyes.
Do you think that your parts of your body, like your shoulders, would end up having problems in the future and stuff if you had
My
to?
shoulders have problems already, but right now they're like cussing me out. I don't see how everybody that's in a wheelchair doesn't end up with like rotator cuffs problems and all that kind of stuff.
I think most of us do.
I can feel it. So sore.
What do you think is the hardest part of maneuvering a chair? Like, is it going uphill or turning? Like, what would you say would be the most difficult task?
With a service dog, it had to be that whenever I would go to turn, Brody would be right there, so I'd have to stop what I was doing so that I could move him so that I could turn. But if I didn't have him there, it would have been probably just the constant motion of your shoulders. Especially going uphill, you have to like just lean into it, because if you don't, no matter how much you push, you're going to either sit still or you're going to go backwards.
And now the final question. If you were to say like just one thing to anybody out there wanting to do this challenge, what would you say to motivate them and convince them that this is something worthwhile?
Just do it.
Anything else? Any more words of wisdom?
No words of wisdom, just do it.
Do you think it was worthwhile? Like, personally, I just realized it totally like made you say it was, even though you might not think that.
I think that it was really eye-opening, and for the reason I did it was so I would know like what Tatiana goes through on a daily basis. Most people don't think about it, but if you don't have a family member or a really close friend that's in a wheelchair, you don't ever think about what they go through and what it's like for them. So if you do or you don't, it doesn't really matter. Go to your local hospital, rent a wheelchair, just try it. Try it for a day, try it for 2 hours, try it for however long you can handle it, and it just really opens your eyes.